Did you know that once you say you're going to do something, once you decide that you are going for something, once you are firm in the belief that, yes, this is what I want, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to do X, Y, Z no matter what, baby, that's when the tests come. That is when the tests come. Hey, I'm Bree. I'm the host of the Brown Girl Self Care Podcast. I am on a 90-day challenge where I am being visible. I'm showing up. I am not shrinking. I am being bold because for a very long time, I promised myself that I was going to, be on YouTube, create content, and live a life of more fullness, by the way. But I would just shrink myself. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of doing that. So I'm going to show up for 90 days by hook or by crook, no matter what. And let me tell you something. You make the decision to do something, just know that there's going to be some tests. There's going to be some tests that are going to be like, are you sure? Because this is what you said, but we don't, I don't know if you're serious about that. Let me tell you what just happened. Um, so today, if you were on YouTube trying to watch me go live about 30 minutes ago to an hour ago, or, obviously as of right now, you'll know that I went live like two or three times and I recorded probably a good 25 minutes each time. And then someone would finally say, like there was one commenter who showed up for the last two lives, and she would tell me, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. There's no sound. And for the whole time before that, I was just talking. I was just talking. So an hour later, I had a decision to make. Am I going to stand by my word, which is I am going to show up and be visible and be seen and speak on camera for 90 days straight, and I'm going to upload the videos on YouTube? Or am I going to say, well, I've already done it three times, it didn't work, so now I'm just gonna just be like, forget it. This clearly means I'm not supposed to record. Going live is not for me. See, when I try stuff, it never works out. All these little stories that your mind tells you. The tests are going to test, baby. The tests are going to test. Just know that means that you are onto something. When you are doing exactly what you say you're going to do, when you are living in integrity with who you are becoming, the type of life you want to live, the fullness of life that you want to have and lay claim to so you're making changes and decisions and choices to live differently, to be different, to do different, to think differently. Whatever it is for you, your mileage may vary. Okay? Just know that there are going to be times when things pop up to test you, to see just how firm you are with the things that you said, just how aligned you are planning on being and with this thing that you want, this life that you want, this whatever that you want. So yeah, I was tested today, and there was a small part of me that was like, maybe this isn't for you. How embarrassing. Now people have seen you, maybe at least, because there weren't like many people on the lives, maybe two or three people at one point. But those two or three people that just sat there and they couldn't hear you, they never said anything. Were they judging you? Were they laughing at you? Like your mind just wants to really take you to a negative place. The mind really just, if that's how you're wired, I should say, the negative mind, if you grew up with a negative mindset, which I did, the mind is going to want to take you down these negative roads and these negative side roads and back roads. Baby, I ain't doing that. So I was like, hell yes, I'm going to hop on Zoom. And hell yes, I'm going to record this today for day 27, I believe it is. And hell yes, I'm going to upload this video. And it doesn't matter if no one watches it. It doesn't matter if someone was there laughing and judging and saying, girl, you look stupid. Hey, that's their business. That's not my business. That's their business, and that may not even be the case. I'm just saying, if that was the case, if I was being judged on the other side of the camera because I made a mistake or because the tech wasn't teching or whatever, that's not my business. That's their business. You know what I'm saying? My business is to live in integrity with who I said I am and who I am becoming. who I am blooming into, who I am growing into, who I am evolving into. It's the growth for me. Okay. It's the growth for me. I don't even know if I'm looking in the right place for the camera. I don't forgot because I just got so caught up in the fact that I had literally, this is like my third or fourth time recording this video. And now everything that I've said has gone out the window. I don't even know what I was talking about at that point because when you do something over and over and over again, it just changes, it flows, it shifts, whatever. I am just going to continue flowing with this because, again, it's about me being visible, showing up, and being in integrity with who I say I am. Okay. And being her. We talked about that maybe at the beginning of this challenge about how you are her. You are her, but you have to make sure that you are doing things that she would do. You know, you have to make sure that you are showing up or doing the things that she does, because that is you. You just haven't activated her yet necessarily. I haven't activated her yet. And that's like the one that, shows up on camera. She's bold. She's confident when she speaks in front of other people. That kind of thing. That is what I'm activating right now. I am putting my faith into my actions. And when I do this, I am her. Okay. So you already are her. You just have to a lot of times wake her up, prove that this is what you want, So when little things come, little distractions, little curveballs and things like that, remember that that's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. But when you know that you want better for your life, when you're done settling for crumbs, I'm done settling for crumbs. I know that version of me that is living differently than where I am current or how I am currently and where I am currently living now as well, but how I am currently living, she doesn't settle. She goes for what she wants. She has faith that the things that she had, like that vision that she holds for her life, she has faith that that is coming to fruition. you know she is showing up. She is speaking boldly. She's not shrinking. She's taking up all the space. She's shaking tables. She's making moves. She's speaking confidently. She is loving herself. She is loving life. She is joyful. Just that is who I am. That is who I am waking up. That is who I'm activating. And for some of us, there's a whole bunch of waking up that needs to happen. Like I'm raising my hand for me, a whole bunch of waking up. Like what you're seeing, what you see in front of you right now. This wasn't me last year. This wasn't me 5 years ago. This wasn't me 20 years ago. This wasn't me, 30 years ago. I'm 50 now. I'll be 51 this year. So I've had almost over 4 decades of my life where I shrunk myself. I was scared. I didn't love myself, and I had other internal battles, that I was going through and growing through. Okay. So yeah, just know that the tests are going to come, baby. That doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. That doesn't mean that it's not for you. Like it doesn't mean any of those things that you may want to, like your mind may try to trick or tell you to be safe. Like your mind's going to try to keep you safe and tell you that's not for you. Just go back to doing what you were doing. That's not for you. It's too risky. It's too bold. It's too big. Your mind wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you at a certain like set point or ceiling because there's comfort there. There's even though there's no growth there, there's the things that you want, they're not there. None of that stuff there, but there's a certain level of comfort there, in that when you think about being like in a little box, it's cozy, it's cramped, you can't stretch out, you can't grow, you can't stand up in the box, but maybe it's warm in there. Maybe you have a blanket in there and you set up a little fort and it's just cozy. I don't want that for my life. I want more. I want all the juiciness of life. So I have to get out of my own way. Maybe that's you too, So that's why I'm showing up every day for 90 days. And there are going to be some days I come on here and I don't have anything to say other than, hey, how you doing? How's life? How's this week going for you? This is what I did this week. Okay, thank you for coming out. Good night. God bless. I'm out. Like, and that may be like 3 minutes. There's not going to be something for me to talk about every single day necessarily. Maybe there is, I don't know, but I'm just saying. But it's not necessarily just about that. It's about me showing up, showing myself what is possible when I take action and when I'm consistent and when I continue to step out on faith and I continue to expand and to grow and to use my gifts, my talents, my voice, and not shrink myself, not hide myself away. Same for you. I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing it for you as well. For those of us who have a similar mindset, one that wants to constrict you and hold you back and keep you stuck or make you play small or make you play small moves or do small things and not tap into like the bigness that you are, the bigness that's inside of you. There's greatness inside of you. There's a whole world in there that you haven't even tapped into yet because you won't allow yourself to, out of fear, out of safety, out of comfort. I don't want that for me anymore. I'm now at a certain age where there's no time to play. There's no time to delay. I had the luxury of youth. It's a luxury. I had the luxury of youth. I had the luxury of time back then, in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s. And even though I always knew that I deserved better and that I wanted to live differently, I just, didn't really start to activate those things until I started the Brown Girl Self-Care podcast. And even that, I had to muster up a certain amount of courage and faith to do that. I started the podcast, I think in like 2018, somewhere in there. And even that, like I said, because I had wanted to start the podcast even before then. But every time I bought the microphone, not this one that you're looking at. I had there was some microphone that I had. It was like the starter package of the microphones back then, 10 years ago. Forget what it's called. It starts with an A. You can find it on Amazon. It's probably like $50 or something like that. It was just like a handheld mic. And I bought it like maybe 2 or 3 years before I even started my podcast. And it just sat in my closet. In a actually not in my closet. It was in the hallway of my old townhouse. In the hallway, what's it called? The linen closet. The linen closet had all these shelves. So down in the shelves that I could actually just reach without like standing on my tippy toes, like the regular shelves had like my towels, my sheets, that kind of thing, covers, blankets, pillows, all that jazz, some candles and stuff, lighters and everything, flashlight. Then on the higher shelves, the ones where you're like, well, I'm gonna put this here, but because I know I'm not gonna come back to it for a minute. I don't need to. It doesn't need to be super accessible. The shelves that are higher, where you got to really stand on your tiptoes or even stand on something, because it's all the way up there. That's where I had the old microphone stored. It was not even visible to me. I bought it, and I guess out of fear or whatever, I didn't even put it where I could see it regularly. I had it on a higher shelf, and I would just come back to it from time to time. But I was so afraid to be heard, so afraid to show up, so afraid to speak and to put myself out there, And finally, I don't really know what the catalyst was for me to grab that microphone, but there's going to come a time where there's going to be something. I honestly can't remember what. Maybe I was just tired of my own crap, possibly. I don't remember what it was, but there's going to come a time where you're going to come to a crossroad and you're going to be looking at whatever, like your proverbial microphone, your hypothetical microphone, whatever that is for you. And you're going to have to make a decision. Either I'm going to plug this microphone in and I'm going to just go for it, or it's going to sit there another year, another 2 years, and I'll forget about it and I'll come back to it and I'll keep doing this like double Dutch. When you double Dutch, you're in and you're out. When you're waiting for that good rhythm, that good flow, and you're kind of like standing there on the side, like, you know what I'm talking about. If you Black, you know what I'm talking about. I know you double Dutched. But there's going to come a catalyst. There's going to be something's going to click. And you're going to be like, now, if I don't do it now, like, what's happening? Why? This is the time. So I don't know what that thing is for you. But if you haven't tapped into it yet, I have a feeling that it's going to happen for you soon. And when that catalyst comes, just go for it. Just go for it. You don't have to be perfect at whatever it is, but I can tell you that the next part of your bloom or the next part of your growth is going to require audacity. And I know a lot of us, we weren't allowed to have audacity when we were younger. So having the audacity now feels foreign, it feels strange, but you're going to have all the audacity. Okay. Have all the audacity and go ahead and just get going, because that bigger vision that, you're trying to birth, it's not going to just happen. That's like someone, I guess, saying, I want to have a kid, but you ain't had sex. You're not having sex or whatever it is. Like, you need to be married first, or you know what I'm saying? But these other things have not happened yet. But you're like, where's my where's my baby? where's my baby? I want this. I want a baby. Where is my baby? And then you'd be big mad when you see, people out with their babies. You're like, where the hell is my baby at? But if you want to be married, you're not married, you don't want to date. That's me. That's why I'm laughing. I don't want to date. And I don't want a baby either, but that was what came to me. You're not safely, and smartly having sex or whatever the process is. Like, you're not doing those things, but you're like, where the hell's my damn baby? So that's me. Like, there's certain steps required to birth this thing. And so you're going to have all the audacity, sis. Now, quickly, I wanted to show you what the tools I'm going to be using this month very quickly in case you find them helpful. So don't stick together. I'll do this one first. So in February of this year, February 2026, I bought these two, these stick on the refrigerator, they're called whiteboards, but they look different, right? They're clear. Oh, this one's upside down. So I bought these two whiteboards on Amazon. I'll put the link so that you can check it out. It will be an affiliate link. Thank you very much for the few cents that I will earn if you decide to purchase or something similar. Okay, I thank you in advance. But I bought these in February and I put these on the refrigerator and I use them to help keep me on track. Now, I did not fully use these in the month of July, but I used them strongly since February and I kind of got out of practice. But what I've come to realize is that I constantly need to keep things in front of me to help keep me on track. So I have to not only write it down in my journal or write it down in my physical planner, but I have to have it in front of me as well. So that every time I go into the refrigerator, every time I make a trip to the refrigerator, boom, it's in my face. It's like, you said you were going to do this. So when I see it, if I decide not to do it, I am literally making a not logical. I am making a conscious decision not to do those things I said I wanted to do. And sometimes I need to see that. And even if I still decide not to do it, it's still like a reminder, like, hey, are you being her? Because you're not doing the things you said you were going to do this week. It's like, really not in a punishing way, but just a reminder, like, hey, you said you're going to do these things and you're not doing that today. You're not doing that today. So are you sure that you are not doing that today? And then I can really think about it, like, yeah, I'm not going to do it today. Or, you know what, let me go on and do this thing because I said I was going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that I say this is not to say that that you shouldn't give yourself space. Like, if I write all the things down here and I wake up and I'm not feeling well, okay, or I'm like, you know what, I really need to tap into some joy today. I really need to, or I really need to just relax today. I'm going to do that. This is more so on the days where I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't want to be bothered. I don't feel like it. That's the days I'm talking about. Okay. So this is a monthly planner. Hopefully you can see that. And the little dots on the back are the little magnets. Hopefully you can see those. Excuse the little smudges, but I need to get some new these come with dry erase markers, maybe 5 or 6, green, white, green, yellow, red, black, blue, something like that, purple, I think, orange, something, I don't know. But they aren't the best. So I've used them for the last few months, but I need to buy some more. So just know that if you buy this, you're probably going to need to get some good quality dry erase marker. So I'm going to have to do that this week. Anyway, but how I plan on using this is, as you can see, these are small little boxes. There's a little section for the notes. But this is where I'm going to write, like, if I'm going to the library tomorrow, I'll put library. If I need to focus on cleaning the kitchen, I'll put kitchen. If I need to go grocery shopping or whatever, whatever I need to do, or if I'm gonna go live on YouTube, maybe I'll put that there. But there's only so much space. So this is kind of like a quick at a glance thing, just to kind of like remind you of what's going on the month, the week, whatever. But then I bought this option because it comes with three options. I think one is just the monthly planner, another is three boards that I can't remember what the third one is. But then the second option is the monthly planner plus the weekly planner / memo board. Okay. And so with the weekly planner, you can go deeper into those things, those quick little things that you jotted down. There's more space. That's why I purchased this. Okay. And then on the other side, there's a memo section. Now, as you can see, I was writing down watermelon, girl. I love to get like a one watermelon once a week. Cut that sucker up. Freezer bags, trash bags, dishwashing pods, Greek yogurt, blueberries, etc., etc. Because I was using it as a way to be mindful of what things I need, because I would write them down as I depleted certain things or as I thought about things that I wanted. Then I take a snapshot and then I use it in the grocery store. So that way I'm not just wandering around aimlessly or grabbing things that I really do not need to be grabbing, or trying not to grab things that I do not need to be grabbing. I can try to stick to primarily the things that I know that I want, but how I'm going to use it now and how I had been using it for a while, but kind of got out of the habit, was the bottom half of this memo section is going to be for like the little grocery things. I'll just have to write a little smaller, but the middle, or like the top half, is going to be for affirmational kind of things. So quotes of faith, affirmations, like I am XYZ or whatever. You know what I mean? I need to keep positive words, quotes, words of faith, motivation, inspiration. I need to see that all the time as much as possible. So that's what I will be using the top half for. If not the entire thing, it'll at least be the top half, right? Because I want to keep positive things at the forefront of everything that I do, so that I don't slip into, I don't want to say despair. I don't slip into just a case of the blahs, or just not really doing anything because I'm feeling like, it's kind of hard to explain, but the way that I'm wired and why I talk about personal development so much is because, when I was a child, there was just so much dysfunction and chaos and lack and struggle and violence and anger and frustration and impatience, and really not a lot of grace was I given in certain situations. There's just a lot going on back then. I carried a lot of those mindsets and limiting beliefs that I grew up with into my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. And so even though I've changed a lot in the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's still there. It's still there. And I'm not sure that it will, I can't predict the future. So I'm not sure if this is just kind of like something I will just have to be mindful of for the rest of my life. I really don't know. But I have to be intentional about what I'm feeding my spirit, what I'm feeding my brain, I have to be very careful with it and be more intentional with that. So that's why I want to keep, words of faith, words of affirmation in front of me. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the live chat like I said before, but at least I'm still showing up. One last thing before I do go, I want to make sure that I start mentioning the fact that if you are a listener of the Brown Girl Self-Care podcast, you may not know that there is a private podcast that I am now offering for the show. So if you are someone who is like me, who loves to get below the surface level, who loves reflecting, who loves taking action on the things that you are reflecting on, who knows that you are worthy of living a juicy, joyful life. You are tired of settling for crumbs like I am, which is why I'm doing this personal 90-day challenge. Like if I'm your vibe, I'm your jam, and you want a little more support from me, then go and sign up for the private podcast. I have five private episodes coming, actually coincidentally talking about comfort zone and no longer settling for crumbs and standards and things like that. Today, Monday, the 27th, started day one. You're going to get 5 days of a little mini micro challenge that allows you to go deeper into your practice. Okay. So if you're ready to take action, you're tired of wasting time, you're tired of doing this alone and feeling like it's impossible, or like you keep stopping, which again was me for a very long time, then go and join the private podcast. I will put the link in the comments here. It won't be clickable because I can't do clickable links on YouTube just yet, but you can copy and paste it. All right. All right. So I think I've said all I wanted to say for today. Today is Monday. So I want to tell you to have a great week. Continue prioritizing yourself. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. I think I've said all the things. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.